Hi there. So I'm just showing you what starts out as the edge of my garden, walking up to my house entrance, which the property owner, because this area faces the road, put down bark to suppress the weeds and called it good, and doesn't want any vegetables or anything like that growing in this area because he wants people to see the ornamentals. So that leaves me this thin strip along both sides of the sidewalk approaching the house, which I grew in last year, and I discovered that only this outer area, not close to the house, actually grows anything. There's really too little sun. This late in the day, late afternoon, early evening, you can see it's getting sun, but otherwise it doesn't get a whole lot. So I place these tomatoes on the outer edge because that's one of the few areas that gets sun. And I know from experience that not much grows there because I lack shade, even if it does, or a lot of shade. Even if it does, I don't get a lot of fruiting. So fairly limited. So we're just going to do a lot of container gardening, just too little area. This area here is supposed to be where I can garden with vegetables. Still a lot of ornamentals in there. And this area, as you can see, gets really wet. You can tell from the moss in the winter, like it changes the soil composition, and you can see that natural rush in there growing. A lot of these mosses are an indication of how boggy and soggy this gets during the winter and during heavy rains. So lots of grass, but that cardboard, which really, when you look at all this grass, you think, well, I didn't have anything to lay in place over it, but I'm attempting it now, and the cardboard really does do. I can lay that cardboard directly over the grass, and it just suppresses the weeds. For like 2 months later, I get no weeds, and I build up soil on top of it, and it seems to do fairly well and provides some. The dead grass underneath actually provides for a nice little base for everything else, so it's not that bad. This is my compost. I've been found this bag of stuff that said it had micro beneficials in it and stuff, that if I add it to my compost, it does a better job of breaking it down, and I can tell you it does seem to do so rapidly. And you can even see some starts and things popping out of the compost. This is some newer compost, bananas and stuff in there, but you can see how quickly it's breaking it down. So I have to admit, it so speeds my composition on compost. I highly recommend this stuff. Wow. And there's no smell too. It like gets rid of the smell completely. So I'm like, amazing. Just one real quick look again. There's all the slugs that I grabbed out of while I was feeding. You can see they're trying to escape already, but they are not escaping. And in fact, we're going to take a long walk after this. We won't be able to come anywhere near my garden again. But I wanted to show you my tomatoes. My tomatoes are looking like I have had no issues with pests or slugs or things getting on them, and they seem to really love these tires. If you've ever been white trash, you know why that is. But I want you to look at the thick stalks on them. That's a really good sign of root growth underneath. But these tomatoes are not quite where I want them to be. I have removed the lower third of foliage, make it harder for pests to crawl up them, or lack of sun. I want sun to get on those leaves. The shaded underneath foliage is more likely to get disease and other problems. But here's the truth of it. If you have a healthy plant, it's fairly likely to resist disease and pests, period. And so a lot of it comes down to soil composition and health. And I've tried to do so. My compost is in the early stages. I don't have a good bit of compost to draw from to mend my soil with. So I've done the best I can, but you can see there's probably some nutrient deficiencies with this tomato plant going on. For one, I don't like to see this kind of downgrowth on the branches. I like to see branches uplifted. And also the look of these leaves isn't quite right. And they don't quite have the green color I would like either. So I've done a little bit of mending today to see if I can improve their status. Also given them a shot of silicone, which can really help them resist pests and other things. But I am working out the subtleties on the nutrient deficiencies with this and giving them a little boost of organics to improve their nitrogen, silicon, trace mineral content, and some other things. And we'll see how they look later. And that's where we're at, folks. Oh, if you need potatoes or onions, please let me know, or anything you're looking for. Thank you.